Hi, today we have another reading from A Course in Miracles. This is the beginning of Chapter 9. It's called The Acceptance of the Atonement, and the first section is The Acceptance of Reality. Okay, so the first paragraph, fear of the will of God is one of the strangest beliefs the human mind has ever made. It could not possibly have occurred unless the mind were already profoundly split, making it possible for it to be afraid of what it really is. Reality cannot threaten anything except illusions, since reality can only uphold truth. The very fact that the will of God, which is what you are, is perceived as fearful, demonstrates that you are afraid of what you are. It is not then the will of God of which you are afraid, but yours. Okay, so going back to reality cannot, quote, threaten anything except illusions, since reality can only uphold truth. So whenever I feel fear or resistance, I am perceiving a threat to the illusions I made using belief in ego thought. And I guess the thought is, if these illusions were to be replaced, I would have a loss. So I'm trying to fight that loss. That's what's happening when I'm afraid. And I keep thinking back to this, when was it? Was it like a week ago? A little more than a week ago? When I had the experience of being very afraid of this dog. So that situation keeps getting reframed for me so I can look at it and seeing it was really a threat to my illusions and my fear of letting illusions go that seemed to be the big fight, big struggle, the big threat. Could I see it in that moment? No, it was very difficult. Very difficult, because I was projecting on that dog. But now I can see it, so now I can thank the dog for being helpful to me. Okay, so reality cannot threaten anything except illusions, since reality can only uphold truth. So whenever I find myself to be threatened or in trouble in any way, reality is here, and what reality does is to uphold truth. So reality is within, or I could say behind, shining behind everyone and everything, and I can trust reality. I can trust the upholding of truth. In those moments with that dog, could I see that? No, it was entirely body focused. It was entirely about an attempt to maintain the safety of the body and just a panicked blindness to anything else. So it's okay, because right now I can look at it and see it again and let go of whatever I need to let go of and find my gratitude. Okay, paragraph 2. Your will is not the ego's, and that is why the ego is against you. What seems to be the fear of God is really the fear of your own reality. It is impossible to learn anything consistently in a state of panic. If the purpose of this course is to help you remember what you are, and if you believe that what you are is fearful, then it must follow that you will not learn this course. Yet the reason for the course is that you do not know what you are. And the course says elsewhere, it is not necessary that you never experience fear, but that you have these holy instants without fear. So we don't have to judge this character who seems to be bopping along through time and space. We don't have to judge the past experiences of this character and say all is lost because I didn't see a peaceful dog. I saw a dog who was a threat. We can just say thank you for the experience and learn and unlearn through the experience. And that will help us understand what is going on here and how to respond appropriately to our own projections, how to respond without fear to our own projections. So your will is not the ego's, and that is why the ego is against you. My will and yours are God's will, because we all share one will for perfect happiness. in fact, in reality. But I've covered up reality with an illusion, and when I'm more invested in the illusion than I am in reality, the illusion seems to dominate, and the illusion either seems to be a special pleasure or a special threat, either one. So your will is not the ego's, and that is why the ego is against you. So the ego, which is nothing, is against me, which I am with you and God, the only something there is. And we always have an opportunity with Holy Spirit to see the nothingness of the ego. Every moment is a choice between miracles and murder. And we always do have that space to stop and choose miracles. But living this life is about learning that we always have that choice. And sometimes we learn from the situations in which we do not see that choice at all. We've completely blocked out our memory of being able to stop and say, hey, I choose a miracle instead of murder. But time is for learning, and time is gentle to us as we learn and unlearn. So we always have another opportunity to choose between miracles and murder. And that's right now. We can always choose the miracle. Okay. Paragraph 3. If you do not know what your reality is, why would you be so sure that it is fearful? The association of truth and fear, which would be highly artificial at most, is particularly inappropriate in the minds of those who do not know what truth is. All this could mean is that you are arbitrarily associating something beyond your awareness with something you do not want. It is evident, then, that you are judging something of which you are totally unaware. You have set up this strange situation so that it is impossible to escape from it without a guide who does know what your reality is. The purpose of this guide is merely to remind you of what you want. Oops, I just turned my page. So I'm just going back to it. Okay, maybe that was the ego. He is not attempting to force an alien will upon you. He is merely making every possible effort within the limits you impose on him to reestablish your own will in your awareness. So going back to, you have set up this strange situation so that it is impossible to escape from it without a guide who does know what your reality is. Thank goodness everyone has a guide who knows what our one reality is. And that guide can show up in different forms. Jesus, or Yeshua, or light friends, or angels, or Holy Spirit, or Buddha, or Lao Tzu, or it's so many. And our galactic friends, even. So many ways Spirit can show up for us, and we learn to see Spirit in everyone and everything, and to trust the Spirit in everyone and everything as the guide that guides us all together, as the harmonic flow that guides us all together. So this situation we find ourselves in today is for learning and remembering this, remembering the presence of the guide in whatever form or formless, and listening to the guide, flowing with the guide. You have set up this strange situation. So I have set up this situation, taken responsibility. I have done this thing, and it is this that I would undo. Was I able to remember that when my terror with the dog was escalating? No. I did not stop and say to myself, I have done this thing, and it is this that I would undo. But I can say it now, so that's okay. All right. So I've set it up so it is impossible to escape from it without a guide who does know what your reality is. So my guide, who can come in many different ways and through you, does know what my reality is. I can trust that. Okay, paragraph 4. You have imprisoned your will beyond your own awareness, where it remains, but it cannot help you. When I said that the Holy Spirit's function is to sort out the true from the false in your mind, I meant that he has the power to look into what you have hidden and recognize the will of God there. His recognition of this will can make it real to you because he is in your mind, and therefore he is your reality. If, then, his perception of your mind brings its reality to you, he is helping you to remember what you are. Thank goodness. That's what we need. The only source of fear in this process is what you think you will lose. Yet it is only what the Holy Spirit sees that you can possibly have. So isn't it interesting when we think we have a big fear, and it's that thing we're focusing on that we think is fearful and threatening, really we feel threatened by the loss of the reality, the fake reality we made, and we don't want to give it up. But the situation doesn't look like that at all. It looks like a threat to our body or a threat to our self-image. Oh boy. Let's see. Okay, if this is still recording and it's just not showing on my screen, it looks like it froze. So what I'm going to do is stop it and see how far it goes. And if I have a piece of recording to use, I will make this part 1 and then do a part 2. All right.